When it comes to global powerhouses, few comparisons are as intriguing as South Africa versus Brazil. On one side, you have the economic and political giant of Latin America, known for its vibrant culture, booming industries, and breathtaking natural wonders. On the other, Africa's most advanced economy, rich in resources, diversity, and innovation, yet often underestimated on the world stage. Which of these two nations truly leads in wealth, development, culture, and influence? Which one offers a better quality of life, stronger infrastructure, and more global clout? In this video, we're diving deep into economy, education, infrastructure, culture, and opportunities, comparing every angle to determine which country actually comes out on top. By the end, you won't just see numbers. You'll understand why one of these nations stands as a true leader in its continent, and why the other could be its rival in shaping the future of emerging global powers. Buckle up for this one. Geography and demography. Brazil and South Africa are two of the most prominent countries in their respective continents, each boasting unique geographic features, climates, and population dynamics that influence their regional and global significance. Brazil is the largest country in South America, covering an expansive 8.5 million square kilometers. Its geography is incredibly diverse, ranging from the dense Amazon rainforest in the north to the vast Pantanal wetlands, tropical savannas, and extensive river systems like the Amazon and São Francisco. The country has long coastlines along the Atlantic Ocean, offering tropical beaches, fertile agricultural regions, and major port cities. Brazil's climate varies from equatorial in the north to temperate in the south, creating a rich agricultural and ecological landscape. Demographically, Brazil has a population of over 215 million people, making it the most populous country in South America. It is highly diverse, with ethnic groups including European descendants, indigenous peoples, African descendants, and mixed-race populations. Portuguese is the official language, and urbanization is high, with major metropolitan areas like São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia serving as economic and cultural hubs. South Africa, located at the southern tip of the African continent, covers approximately 1.22 million square kilometers. Its geography includes coastal plains, mountains like the Drakensberg, and the arid Karoo region, providing varied ecosystems and natural resources. South Africa's climate ranges from Mediterranean along the southwestern coast to subtropical in the northeast, with dry interior plateaus. This diversity supports agriculture, mining, and tourism. South Africa has a population of roughly 60 million people, significantly smaller than Brazil, but it is highly multicultural, comprising ethnic groups such as Zulu, Xhosa, Afrikaners, English-speaking whites, and people of Indian descent. It recognizes 11 official languages, reflecting its cultural richness. Urban centers like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Pretoria are major economic and political hubs. In terms of size and population, Brazil clearly surpasses South Africa, both geographically and demographically, offering vast land for agriculture, infrastructure, and natural resources. Climate-wise, Brazil's predominantly tropical and temperate zones provide more consistently warm and fertile conditions for agriculture and habitation, while South Africa's climate is more varied, with arid regions limiting certain agricultural and population concentrations. Therefore, Brazil is the larger country, more populous, and overall enjoys a milder and more favorable climate, while South Africa excels in biodiversity, mineral wealth, and a more Mediterranean subtropical climate suited for diverse ecosystems and tourism. Both are influential, but Brazil dominates in sheer size, population, and overall climatic advantages. Cities. Brazilian cities are massive and culturally dynamic. São Paulo, the largest city, is the financial hub of Latin America, with advanced infrastructure, high-rise skylines, and a bustling business environment. Rio de Janeiro is famous for its iconic landmarks like Christ the Redeemer, Copacabana Beach, and carnival, blending natural beauty with urban life. Other cities like Brasilia, the political capital, and Salvador, rich in Afro-Brazilian culture, highlight Brazil's diversity and historical depth. Brazilian cities are culturally vibrant, but face challenges such as traffic congestion, crime in certain areas, and inequality between neighborhoods. South African cities combine modern infrastructure with natural beauty. Johannesburg is Africa's financial capital. Cape Town is internationally renowned for Table Mountain, beaches, and tourism. And Durban offers a subtropical climate with major ports and cultural diversity. South African cities generally have better urban planning, more accessible infrastructure, and cleaner public spaces, though crime and social inequality remain concerns. While Brazil's cities are larger and culturally iconic, South African cities are more livable overall, with better infrastructure, urban design, and accessibility, making them the stronger choice in terms of functionality, safety, and overall quality of urban life. Economy. Brazil and South Africa are two of the most important emerging economies in the global south, each playing a key role on their respective continents. Both nations are classified as middle-income countries, but their economic structures, strengths, and challenges differ significantly. Brazil, the largest economy in Latin America, has a GDP of over $3 trillion, making it a major global player. Its economy is highly diversified, with strong agriculture, industry, and services sectors. Brazil is a leading exporter of commodities such as soybeans, coffee, sugar, and beef, while its industrial base produces automobiles, aircraft, steel, and machinery. The service sector, including finance, technology, and tourism, accounts for the majority of economic output and employment. Brazil's natural resources, particularly its vast arable land, forests, and mineral wealth, provide a foundation for both domestic growth and exports. Its urban centers, São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia, serve as economic, financial, and cultural hubs, attracting investment and driving innovation. However, Brazil faces challenges including income inequality, political instability, inflation, and dependence on commodity exports, which can make the economy vulnerable to global market fluctuations. South Africa, the continent's most industrialized economy, has a GDP of around $450 billion, smaller than Brazil's, but it remains the largest economy in Africa. It is heavily mineral-driven, producing significant amounts of gold, platinum, diamonds, and coal, while its agriculture and manufacturing sectors support both domestic consumption and exports. South Africa also has a sophisticated financial sector, advanced infrastructure, and a well-developed tourism industry. Cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban are major economic centers, with Johannesburg often considered the financial hub of Africa. Despite these advantages, South Africa faces structural challenges, including high unemployment, social inequality, corruption, and energy shortages, which hinder sustainable growth. In comparing the two economies, Brazil's economy is both larger and more diversified than South Africa's, giving it greater resilience to global shocks and broader global influence. While South Africa benefits from mineral wealth and strong financial systems, its economy is constrained by structural issues and a smaller domestic market. Brazil's combination of population size, natural resources, industrial capacity, and service sector development positions it as the stronger economy overall, capable of sustaining long-term growth and exerting significant regional and global economic influence. Infrastructure. Brazil has an extensive road network totaling over 1.7 million kilometers, with about 215,000 kilometers paved. Major highways like the BR-101 and BR-116 connect key urban centers and ports, facilitating domestic trade. However, many rural roads remain unpaved, particularly in the Amazon region, limiting connectivity and increasing transportation costs. South Africa has a smaller total road network of around 750,000 kilometers, but it is highly developed and efficiently maintained. Its national routes and freeways, such as the N1 and N2 highways, connect major economic hubs and ports with a high degree of reliability, making road transportation faster and more dependable than in many parts of Brazil. Brazil's rail system spans about 30,000 kilometers, primarily used for bulk cargo like iron ore, soybeans, and agricultural products. Passenger rail is limited and underdeveloped, with commuter trains operating in cities like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. South Africa's rail network, approximately 20,000 kilometers, is similarly focused on freight, particularly mining exports. But its commuter rail systems in Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban are better integrated for urban transport. Both countries face challenges in modernizing and expanding rail for passenger transport. Brazil has over 4,000 airports, including major international hubs like São Paulo Guarulhos, Rio de Janeiro Galeão, and Brasilia, supporting both domestic and international travel. The sheer size of the country makes air travel crucial for connectivity. South Africa has around 400 airports, with Johannesburg, OR Tambo International, Cape Town International, and King Shaka International being key gateways. While Brazil has more airports, South Africa's airports generally offer higher efficiency, modern facilities, and strong connectivity for international tourism and trade. Brazil is a global leader in renewable energy, with hydropower providing around 60 to 65% of electricity, complemented by growing wind and solar sectors. Energy access is widespread in urban areas, though remote regions, especially in the Amazon, face challenges. South Africa relies heavily on coal, with coal-fired power plants supplying about 75% of electricity. Renewable energy is expanding, but frequent power outages and load shedding highlight systemic energy challenges. Brazil has seen rapid growth in mobile and internet penetration, with broadband and 4G coverage expanding across urban and semi-urban regions, though rural access remains uneven. South Africa has similarly developed mobile networks, with high mobile penetration and growing broadband services, particularly in urban centers. Both countries face challenges in extending reliable internet to remote areas. When comparing infrastructure, South Africa excels in quality, reliability, and efficiency, especially in urban transport, airports, and integrated road networks. Brazil's infrastructure is larger in scale, necessary for its vast territory but uneven development, particularly in rural areas, and passenger rail limits overall effectiveness. Brazil leads in energy sustainability through hydropower and renewable initiatives, while South Africa struggles with energy reliability. Telecommunications in both countries are comparable, though South Africa's urban networks are generally more reliable. Overall, South Africa has better developed and more efficient infrastructure, particularly for transport and urban connectivity, while Brazil's infrastructure is expansive but inconsistent. Brazil's strength lies in energy production and sheer scale, but South Africa's infrastructure provides a higher standard of service and functionality. Standard of living. In Brazil, standards of living vary widely between urban and rural areas. Major cities like São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia offer high access to education, healthcare, housing, and modern amenities, with vibrant cultural and recreational opportunities. However, inequality remains a major challenge. A significant portion of the population lives in informal settlements, particularly in urban favelas, and faces limited access to quality education, healthcare, and public services. Cost of living is moderate in comparison to global standards, but income disparities mean that many Brazilians struggle with affordability for housing, healthcare, and transport. South Africa exhibits similar contrasts. Cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Pretoria provide modern infrastructure, healthcare, education, and services comparable to middle-income countries. Yet South Africa struggles with extreme income inequality, high unemployment, and crime, which directly affect quality of life for large segments of the population. Many rural communities lack adequate infrastructure, consistent electricity, and basic services, although urban areas generally provide better access than in Brazil. Both countries have highly unequal societies, but South Africa's urban areas generally offer a slightly higher standard of living due to better infrastructure, more reliable utilities, and stronger healthcare access. Brazil's larger population and vast rural regions mean more pronounced disparities, although it offers advantages in culture, social programs, and energy access. Overall, urban South Africa provides a higher standard of living, while Brazil's standard is more varied, with extremes between wealth and poverty. Security and peace. Security and peace are critical measures of a country's stability and directly influence quality of life, investment, and social cohesion. Both Brazil and South Africa face significant security challenges, but the nature and scale of these challenges differ. Brazil has long struggled with urban crime, particularly in major cities like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. Issues include gang violence, drug trafficking, and organized crime, which are concentrated in favelas and certain neighborhoods. Rural areas are generally safer, though conflicts over land and illegal logging in the Amazon pose security risks. Brazil's police forces and federal authorities actively combat crime, but corruption, uneven enforcement, and overcrowded prisons hinder long-term improvements. Despite these challenges, large portions of the country remain relatively safe, particularly middle-class neighborhoods and smaller cities. South Africa, meanwhile, has one of the highest crime rates in the world. Violent crime, including homicides, armed robberies, and carjackings, is a serious concern, with rates particularly high in urban centers like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. Organized crime and gang activity are significant, and the threat of violence affects daily life for many citizens. Rural areas can be safer, but farm attacks and property crimes are also notable. South Africa also struggles with social unrest, protests, and strikes, sometimes turning violent. The government has deployed extensive policing and community safety initiatives, yet high unemployment, inequality, and social tensions exacerbate security challenges. Both countries face serious security issues, but Brazil's challenges are more geographically concentrated and often linked to specific criminal networks, whereas South Africa experiences more widespread violent crime and systemic security issues. On balance, Brazil offers better overall security and peace, particularly outside major urban hotspots, while South Africa's high rates of violent crime and social unrest make daily life riskier for a larger portion of the population. Tourism. Brazil is globally renowned for its natural wonders and cultural attractions. From the iconic Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro to the Amazon rainforest and the Pantanal wetlands, Brazil offers a unique combination of biodiversity, adventure tourism, and scenic beauty. Its cities, Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Salvador, and Brasilia, feature vibrant festivals, nightlife, and cultural heritage, including music, dance, and cuisine. Brazil's most famous event, Carnival, draws millions of international visitors annually. However, safety concerns, uneven infrastructure, and distance between attractions can limit accessibility for some tourists. In recent years, Brazil attracts around 6 million international visitors per year, a figure constrained by economic and security factors. South Africa offers a highly developed tourism industry with a mix of safaris, coastal beauty, urban experiences, and cultural heritage. The country is famous for Kruger National Park, Table Mountain, Cape Winelands, and the Garden Route, attracting wildlife enthusiasts, adventure seekers, and leisure travelers alike. South Africa has strong tourism infrastructure, including reliable airports, hotels, and tour services. making it more accessible for international visitors. Cities like Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Durban are major tourism hubs. Pre-pandemic, South Africa welcomed over 10 million international visitors annually, making it a top destination in Africa. While Brazil offers unparalleled natural and cultural diversity, South Africa's tourism industry is better developed, safer, and more accessible, supporting higher visitor numbers. South Africa also has stronger infrastructure and variety in tourist experiences, particularly for international travelers, giving it an edge in both industry development and visitor volume. Even though Brazil remains a globally iconic destination. Passport strength. Brazilian passports are among the strongest in Latin America, allowing holders visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 170 countries, including most of South America, parts of Asia, and the Caribbean. Brazilian citizens enjoy visa-free travel to Europe's Schengen area for up to 90 days, making it highly advantageous for both tourism and business. The passport is biometric and meets international security standards, ensuring global recognition and compliance. South African passports, while strong within Africa, offer more limited international access. South Africans can travel visa-free or with visa on arrival to roughly 100 countries, including many African nations, parts of the Caribbean, and select Asian destinations. However, access to major Western economies such as the United States, Canada, and much of Europe typically requires a visa, limiting travel convenience. The passport is also biometric and secure, but ranks lower globally compared to Brazil's. In terms of global mobility and travel freedom, Brazil clearly holds the advantage. Brazilian citizens can access far more countries without prior visas, making the Brazilian passport stronger, more versatile, and better suited for international travel compared to the South African passport, which offers regional strength but limited global reach. In conclusion, both Brazil and South Africa excel in different areas. Brazil dominates in size, population, economy, passport strength, and climate, offering vast resources, global influence, and unmatched travel freedom. Its cultural richness, biodiversity, and iconic cities make it a global icon, though infrastructure and safety can be inconsistent. South Africa, on the other hand, leads in urban livability, infrastructure efficiency, tourism development, and quality of life in cities, providing safer, well-planned, and accessible experiences for residents and visitors alike. Overall, while South Africa excels in infrastructure and urban living, Brazil takes the crown as the more powerful, influential, and globally versatile nation.